Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. Welcome back to Beyond Your Radio. This is You Should Listen To. And I hope you got your Dingus Day done and you recovered. If not, we'll try to keep it a little lower on you. I'm Mark Lugowski, the idiot who started all this. I'm always searching for something out there, something that moves me, drives me, catches me somehow. And that's the idea here. We even talked about, just before we got on the show, we talked about subjectivity and weighing that when you're talking about these shows and going, geez, am I too involved in this? Am I really being truthful, honest? Am I trying to agree with this because it's popular? I love a different kind of album. Maybe something close to what you like to, or maybe not. It can be something that's moves you. Find something that might be in that album that is. It could be old. It could be brand spanking new. We're just trying to broaden the musical horizon. Now, I have minions. Nope. I guess I have to call them panelists. That's right. Keep forgetting that. This is You Should Listen To, and the panelists tonight bring you one album that basically they're saying by genre, style, vocalist, musician, band, anything. The sky's the limit that you should listen to. He's cleared his bingo card for this one. Steve Scouten. He's on spring break at home because he doesn't do TSA. Jeff DeYoung.
No, I do not.
Okay, he's got an iron butterfly stomach. The Grateful Dude. And she kind of bit her lip. Geez, I don't know. Susie Q.
Hi.
All right. Well, we'll get this started. And since we don't get Jeff DeYoung that often, we're going to let him kick it off.
Oh, you might wish you didn't. For me at least, it's no surprise. Lots of electronic headed my way. So one night I fell down a rabbit hole of like techno mainstream festival stuff, and I stumbled across John Summit. And he's got a new album coming out soon, so I can't really get too into that since not all the tracks have been released. But apparently the accountant who gave up that lifestyle to pursue his DJ dream, and now he's all over the world doing his thing, and he just did Ultra Miami, I think, not that long ago. So I went back to his 2024 album called Comfort and Chaos. And as it goes, it literally is just that. So it reminded me a little bit of Zed at first, but more, not so much more current, but definitely more full on. Like Zed has gone more into like the producer end and lots of guests and really like helping out the other artists and things like that. And he has some guests on his own, but it's all more like the main floor, dance floor, festival filling, four to the floor, traditional, like what you're going to hear if you're going to these, you're going to Ultra, you're going to all these other parties and things. He works with Hayla on a couple tracks, which really, I guess, put him on the map in that culture. Both of their songs are on there. And I was watching, he had down that rabbit hole I went, where he was explaining how he made Shiver, the fourth track on the album, and just how he got the vocals and just worked around her vocals, and how he turned her melodies into his melodies and layered underneath. So it really, really soars as it goes. He had a 12 track debut. The new album sounds really good so far. Work with the Chainsmokers, I know, for one of the tracks on the new one. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. So like this one, like Cascade, he did a good track with called Resonate. That's a two with Hayla towards the end. And again, as much as it's more like you're your dance floor, your festival stuff. At the end, he worked with Sub Focus, who's largely drum and bass, and his song goes from they've got I forget what their new song is out that I've heard, but it goes from like that dancey hands in the air kind of stuff for a song, and transitions over the break into just the last end of the song, just all like drum and bass, up tempo, like not insanity, like just crazy stuff, but like really like revs the speed up to like 160 and over with what Sub Focus does in general. Um, his song "Eat the Bass" is, but that "Eat the Bass" is a pretty good track in terms of like getting if you're at a rave or you're at a party where they're playing quote unquote that kind of music, that's probably your gateway into what he does. But his stuff with Hala is amazing. The new album coming out hopefully soon. I have to check and see what the date is on that, but I think they've released like 4 tracks from it already. One of them includes the Chainsmokers and some other guest vocals. But the as it's not like how I know many moons ago when I was here, I brought up a lot of the hard techno. It's definitely not that. It's definitely designed for the dance floor, but there's a lot of like melody and emotion going through what he does. Like he really gets into his shows. And I think the last show he did that I saw for Ultra Miami, at the end he went out into he put his last track on, as DJs are known to do, and just went out into the crowd and just like joined in the crowd with like everything he does, because he really appreciates everybody helping him get to where he is right now, because he's unstoppable right now as far as that whole scene goes.
Is when it says comfort and chaos, do are we experiencing like a chill, or is it just dance? I don't know. Is it too much pattern, or is it just
No,
enough and then it switches? There's no heavy drops or anything of that nature, then, is there?
no, not necessarily. More in a few of the songs, like you'll hear them at like Shiver and Where You Are, like there's a groundswell of like how you have like your breakdowns and your build-ups, because he's also heavily influenced by the trance scene as well, which is
Oh, okay.
very anthemic strings. Just a lot of instrumentation has gone into what he started with, and it's progressing even more with the new album Control Escape that'll be out eventually too. But for what I was looking for at the time, I had been listening to a lot of hard techno lately, and this was getting to hear this was a step back for my tempo and my speed. And is like, man, I like watching his shows and what he puts into his shows, the instrumentation and the lighting. He did, for the debut of the album, he did his show was at Madison Square Garden,
Oh,
like
wow.
Fill the Garden. There's a documentary, a small one, how he like not pre-gamed but set the whole thing up in Pennsylvania at some of their sound stages. The lighting has to be just so every aspect of those shows he has it like fine tuned, and it's been amazing to watch him evolve in the short time that he's been doing what he's been doing. Again, leaving the business realm to go into music production and dance, and now like festival DJs. It's really something to see. I wasn't sure I was going to be totally into it, but he's really growing on me as an artist and a producer.
Cool.
There you go.
Like,
Can't hear you, Mark. Oh,
is he like Alan Walker?
Um, I would, in a sense, but I would go a step for, I would say a couple steps above.
Okay, because if he's
Couple
going
steps above.
steps above, that's another one that's huge, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh,
Who's
sure.
okay, all right, just to try to put it in perspective
Yeah.
for me,
Mhm.
because that is, that's I love that wheelhouse, but I'm not in it all the time, so I have to get re-educated. That's why I like to have you on. So
Yeah, that's why I said it like at first I was like, oh, this is like Zed's early stuff, where Zed was very much just the instrumentation, and now Zed has, as the producer, has gotten more, not more poppy, but with Maren Morris and some of the other tracks he did, where he's branched out and really involved some other artists. I think we're just scratching the surface here with him, which
mhm.
is going to be exciting to see with this new album coming out.
Cool. All right, Susie Q, what you got?
I just have to ask Jeff first. Is this your retirement plan? Are you going to become one of these DJs and bring
Uh,
Colleen with you around the world?
Oh, it's so tempting, but I think I think I have other retirement plans eventually, but I do
Mm.
know where we're looking. They might have a radio station nearby.
Ooh, that could be
So
dangerous.
All
never say never,
All
but
right.
the airwaves they are a calling.
right. Yeah, we have to do a rave someday by DJ Jazzy Jeff DeYoung.
I can't flash the controller, but I got a little DJ controller sitting right next to me. So ask and you shall receive.
All right. Well, mine is so if you watched last week's show, I brought Ruthie Foster, new to me, really enjoy her, and looking to see if I can strike it rich again and find another new voice that I'd enjoy. And I came upon a different, similar sound though, soulful, kind of same rootsy type of feel. I would say more personal, feels more intimate. Uh, again, went in blind, so I didn't know much about her, but in reading a bit about her, some of her fans, she has some fans that include Brandy Carlisle, Hosier, and she has performed on Jimmy Kimmel. She's been nominated for some Grammys, uh,
Wow.
I think at least one Grammy so far, and kind of came onto the solo scene in the early, let's see, it was about 2020. I think her name is, and let's see if Mark knows her or not, Allison Russell. Uh,
Mm-mm.
I'll give you a little bit more. So she has two albums, I believe, at this point. The debut album, which is the one that I listened to in full, is Outside Child. Um, and it's it's a really nice sounding album. I think it's 11 tracks. The last one, um, can't say it. It's Joyful MFer. It
Oh,
takes a little turn there,
well.
but uh so just a really nice album. Montreal.
Oh, you cathedrals, your shadows felt like love and I. I was your child, Montreal. You would not let me come too high.
Is a beautiful. Night Flyer I think that's like the fan favorite from what I can tell. But I just enjoyed it. It's hard for me to compare her voice to somebody else's. Nina Simone came up, Mavis Staples. Um, but I don't know. She has a very unique voice to me and semi-unique sound overall. Her follow-up album is called The Returner, and I got through part of that one. You know that one? Okay.
No, I know where I know
Oh,
her from now.
oh, okay. So, and I can't speak to it, but from what I understand, this debut album was more of like a trauma and going through it type of sound. And then the Returner is a lot more upbeat. Um, but still digs in. Still not like upbeat, not like poppy and haha, but just a little bit lighter than her debut. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it and I would definitely recommend it. Outside Child. Can't recommend The Returner just yet, but between her and Ruthie though, I think Ruthie nudges her out a little bit in my book, but it's kind of fun to be finding these artists and uh yeah.
Yeah, I know her from her collective with Rihanna Giddens, our native daughters. She's in that with
Um
Rihanna Giddens.
Okay.
So yeah, so well, I mean, say in it with it. I mean, I think they come in and out of that collective quite a bit, but
Hmm.
yeah. So I never really went to one of her albums, but this woman has covered "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac, "Everything I Wanted" by Billie Eilish, Sade's "By Your Side." So she's in this interesting like jazz, blues, and Americana thing. So that's kind of cool. Like that, that
Hmm.
puts her on that. Oh, what's our boy there? Keb Mo and that kind of thing. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I wish female vocalists like this would get a little bit more recognition on the scene, so to speak. But
Grateful, dude.
Okay, okay. My artist today I have a great love and hate relationship with. Um, he played for the Dead for a while. Um, during that section of time, he got a great relationship with the now deceased Bobby Weir, and April 3rd of this year, he released his latest album. With feature collaborations from Bobby Raitt and Bobby Weir. I am talking about Bruce Hornsby's Indigo Park. It is a fabulous album. I listened to it 6 times in the last 2.5 days, and you can see where the relationship of Bobby Weir and Bonnie Raitt come in. They have very structured parts of them that are very unique. It's an album that it's hard to explain. It is beautiful, it's rhythmic, and it's controversial all in its own.
Hours and days, weeks, months and years, on and on we move while we're standing here, out of mind, out of sight, then it reappears. Disorderness, entropy here.
You guys have to listen to it if you want to appreciate Bruce Hornsby. I think it's his probably best album in the last 2 or 3. It is commandeering to the heart. It's really hard to say. I listened to it and I've been trying to figure out what I was going to say, and all I can say is you should listen to it and tell me what you think.
Yeah. This album will be on Album Review Saturday this weekend, and I have listened to the album multiple times. And the one thing that Hornsby has changed and toyed with, and is kind of being his own Shakespeare in a way, is he's toying with melody. And some of this is not melodic. It's very staccato. It's even a little bit rap oriented in its delivery of rhythm. And
Yep.
and if you're looking for him to be dancing on the piano and mandolin rain in it, and it is not there. And it has not been there in years, in actuality.
And that reflection
is
a
Bob
lot
Weir.
of the reflection is Bobby Weir and Bonnie Raitt. They both
Yeah, I
have
mean, Bonnie's there. I really do feel that his time with the Dead changed his.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't when I first heard it. Yeah, obviously that's going to be one of the statements I talk about. Is going to be if you love the Range, Bruce Hornsby in the Range, you're going to have to sit down and really understand this is not.
You're not going to understand.
This is not Bruce Hornsby of that era. Yes.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you got to ride. You can ride it. You can figure it out. But to go from A to Z is going to be a somewhat of an issue for you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's great musicianship going on there, but sometimes it's a little in the. It's not in the jam. Well, it's sort of a jam, but I'll let you just listen to it. Damn it. All right, Steve.
So, the name of this show is You Should Listen To. And if you're in Lewiston, New York on August 14, you can listen to this band. Um, they're quickly becoming a favorite of mine because when you can combine steel guitars, fiddles, Telecasters, and accordions, you are scratching me where I itch. So I have selected the Turnpike Troubadours and their second album, Diamonds and Gasoline.
Nice.
Um, the Turnpike Troubadours started out in 2005 out of Oklahoma.
That makes no
Uh,
sense.
right,
I
right,
thought they were from New Jersey when I heard the name. Like, gotta be
right,
from New Jersey.
right. They are if the Red Dirt and Americana genre had a Mount Rushmore, they would distinctly be on that because they started that. They started the you know the this that that genre of music, which is kind of rooted in um trying to be old and new at the same time, if that makes any sense. Storytelling is part of what they do. They're fiddle driven. This album, Diamonds and Gasoline, which is their second one, again, they started in 2005. This album's from 2010. It's their second one. There's quieter, introspective songs. There's also danceable country-esque songs. There's quite a balance to the album. Um, I typically go through my favorites. I love the title track. The title track's really good. Again, the lyrics in their songs are theme driven. With the title track, it kind of gets into, I don't even know how you'd say it, hard choices maybe. Something like the song Kansas City Southern goes into a lot of small town. There's Seven and Seven, which you would think would be a boozy, song based on the drink, where it's more about the regret of getting into issues with the bottle.
Back when you were my darling, I didn't mind to lose a little sleep. I didn't mind to do a little walking. The reputation never meant that much to me. And how do I find that old familiar feeling? The one that carried me so many years ago. The fun was dominoes and 7-Up and Seagrams.
There's love-tempered songs. It just it's got a little bit of everything. Again, they've been around a while. I've seen them at Borderland. And again, unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town when they're in town. But I really feel if you're, into something that's, kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to lyrically and songs and that type of thing, and appreciate, that not it's got an old school and a new school country feel at the same time, but rootsy Americana, type of stuff you'd hear at the Sportsman on a Wednesday night. This would be for you. So I highly recommend and think you should listen to the Turnpike Troubadours.
Yeah, I might have to go to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting day. Well, so when it comes to guitar, there's the greats, and then everybody puts them in lists, and then people are offended by Rolling Stone. They're offended by things I say, blah blah blah. And then there are other greats, and there are also fantastic players, and there's really good ones. And sometimes the difference is sort of like that in golf, with when somebody was comparing Tiger Woods to themselves at one point. He goes, the difference between me and Tiger Woods is he gets to play every day and I don't. And I'm like, is that true? What does that mean, right? But let's just put this into perspective for guitar, because sometimes the difference is the time they have to play and where they play. They can be overshadowed by the position they're in. They can be not perceived well because they're not in a band that has a name. Just like a lead singer could be fantastic and they don't have the band or the players around it. Sometimes where those record executives go, well, you'd be great without the band. And they, would that happen to Tom Petty? Never mind. It could be the stage presence problem. Sometimes it can be because their attention for detail rests beyond what is popular. If you love nostalgic electric guitar, if you love the beauty of acoustic guitar because of that classical position and its charm for jazz, and both in that instance, if you felt you could never understand why it's never about just two guitars besides those, maybe a great player and other people surrounding him, if you love Philadelphia, right? Maybe you love Chicago. What's better than those two classic cities being represented? If you love a double finger tapping fretter, what? That exists? Yeah. That's a unique jazz player right there. Possibly overlooked because of the name, but the mentions are endless and they're phenomenal. Dionne Warwick, Kenny Rogers, Muriel Anderson, Stanley Clarke, Burt Bacharach, Billy Cobham, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Dave Holland, Jean-Luc Ponty, Terry Lynn Carrington, Quincy Jones, the Dave Matthews Band, the String Cheese Incident, Phil Lesh, Moe, and Humphreys McGee are just a few names of people that have been blessed with guitar greats. On the unique one, it's a new leader of a band that was under the tutelage of Branford Marsalis, as well as a cameo appearance in Blind Date with Bruce Willis, who adored him and said, you got to play yourself in the movie. What? And at that point, he wasn't a popular guy, to my knowledge. Since 1982 and 1983, these two guys have been playing guitar in a similar world, and they have made it their own, and they're legendary in their instruments. But their paths are completely not the norm. This is Jazz Blues Guitar on Jazz Blues Guitar. Acoustic to electric, if you love Al Di Meola, Pat Metheny, oh, come on, Mark. Come on. Alan Holdsworth, John McLaughlin. Maybe you forgot about some of these two guys I'm going to mention. And that is Kevin Eubanks and Stanley Jordan's Duets. Kevin Eubanks, obviously from the Tonight Show band, and Stanley Jordan, who had been, playing on that circuits with all kinds of people. And he actually was Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and played there, and David Letterman. But most of it, they actually did themselves. They made their own songs, but there are those covers, and those covers fit right in beautifully, and they're well developed and interpolated differently, so that it's something else. But it's not often that jazz and blues get together and it's just two guys and their guitars. And Kevin Eubank says, I'll play the bass too if you need me to. So, yeah, you always wonder why the guitarist doesn't play bass, right? Because shouldn't it be similar? I don't know. That's just my ignorance of the instruments themselves. But anyway, I will thank the panel for joining me tonight for You Should Listen To, and go out and listen to these albums. Let us know. Give us a heads up what you thought. Maybe it's something you had not experienced before, or you knew it and you're like, wow, I'm glad somebody mentioned it. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok and Instagram, and of course this thing called YouTube. Articles, videos, and a podcast sometime in the year 2095. All about music, albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. So go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching, and happy listening.